is a perfect time to really share some of the insights that we have that's been pressed on our hearts.
And I think it's something that once you grab a hold of it, that it's something that's going to be life-changing.
That gets planted and it just starts to grow. And then we start developing patterns of behavior to just to cover our hearts. Hi there.
Welcome back. So now we want to talk about the importance, I guess. Should I say, is that how I say the importance of a soft heart? Like what is so special about a soft heart? And I will just, I guess, start off by saying I think that your heart is like the greatest asset that you have in this kingdom. You know, in the kingdom of the Most High, the condition of your heart really does matter. How would you say it? Or would you agree?
Oh, I would agree with it wholeheartedly. I think that it's the most important thing to the Most High. And so if this is the most important thing to him, it should be important to us. You know, again and again, as you read the Old Testament, you'll see the Bible saying that, you know, the heart of God is grieving. You know, the children of Israel grieved his heart. You know, he, you know, like when they were sinning and he had to flood the earth, you know, and it's only Noah, you know, who was blameless that actually, you know, made him turn his heart. Like
because he was sorry that he had made man.
He's sorry that he had created
and it just,
man.
Yeah, when I read that line, I was just like, wow, well, what exactly? Like, imagine your creator is sorry he even created you. What were we doing? Sounds like we were doing the most.
And when I read the Old Testament, I'm thinking, you know what? As much as the Bible keeps saying that we are grieving, the children of Israel are grieving his heart. If the Bible says that we are made in his image and we, you know, it's like we fall in love, we are full of emotion, we're all this. So when we're reading all of the emotion that is being ascribed to the Most High, I think we could take that literally. I think we really are breaking God's heart. And if you think about how you feel when your heart is broken, what if God feels the exact same way? You know, it's one of those things that when I consider it, it's like gives me pause, and I just take a moment and just try to just receive that and process. Well, what if the way I feel when I'm going through trauma and heartbreak or whatever, what if this is what happens when I'm sinning and this is how God feels? Like how awful that I would do that to him, you know? And so if God is all heart,
right?
You know, yeah, I mean, he's other things, but if he's leading with heart, and if the heart of mankind is really, really important to him, then it should matter to us. The condition of our heart should matter to us, and us getting our hearts into good condition. Think of like gardening. You know, we've been trying to plant a lot of things outside, and I've actually tried to plant grass, and I just noticed recently that I was asking my sister, this looks like silt. Is it silt? Why grass? It seems as if the grass is actually receding, and it's just dust, you know. And she said that, you know, actually since moving here, like the condition of the soil has actually just not been really good. And so now imagine, you know, when the condition of your soil isn't good, you're now going to look for fertilizer. You're going to look for your all of that, you know. So just think of that now, kind of like your heart. You know, that the condition of your heart is really important, because now this is where things grow. This is where we're planting things, and whatever we're planting is now going to spring up and sprout and, you know, multiply. And so if the soil of our heart is bad soil, you know, nothing can grow. The grass outside is just dying. You know, but if the condition of your heart is fertile, if it is good soil, if it's good ground, you know, where you can put the seed and it can sprout up, spring, you know, then abundance can grow out of it. Then you're actually usable. I actually don't think that I think that without a good heart, a soft heart, I don't believe you're usable by the Most High. I think it's a wrap. You're not usable. You are of no value. Sorry, but not sorry. Like I'm just going to go out on a limb and say that. I think you're of no value.
Oh, why do you say that?
Because God is only using people who have a soft heart. Look at David. He said, man looks on the outward man, but on the outward part, but I'm looking at the heart. The people that he's looking to use the most have to have a soft heart, because that's a heart that mirrors his. If his heart is soft, why is he? Yeah, why is he's not rolling with hard-hearted people? Because you can't do what he needs you to do. I need for your heart to be able to break the way my heart is breaking, so that you can go out on a limb, because this faith, this is not just might. This is you believing me. Like, imagine now what he's telling Joshua, only be strong and very courageous. I will be with you. I want you to just take that step. Don't worry. I am with you. That is his heart. It's Joshua's heart that is actually taking that step. It's not his might. We know he can do this. We know he can suit up for battle and go out and come in. But it's his heart that actually now allows him to stand before the children of Israel and not collapse. To stand on that podium. It's the heart that's saying, you know what? It doesn't matter what the animosity is from these people or whatever. I'm following him. Right. I just don't believe that God is using people who, he can wait on you. But I think for you to be able to be used in the way that...
To be completely called up in his reserve army or whatever. Yeah.
To fulfill your purpose. He might wait on you. But for you
or not.
Or not. But I think, I think if you do a deep dive in the Old Testament and you look at the men that God chose, you'll see a through line. And there's a reason. So that's why I just don't think. Just think about it.
No, I think it makes complete sense. I don't see it. But I do kind of see on the flip end. I do see how the enemy can use people who don't have soft hearts and have a hard heart and have all these issues that we've been talking about. I do see that.
Look at worship. What is worship? Worship is your heart opening up to him. And guess what? Once you worship, like when you hit the right key, those doors and the right frequency, those doors and those windows open up. And you have to be able to worship to be able to have a close relationship with him. In order to be able to worship, you have to have a heart of a worshiper.
And I think it's almost like you need to be on the right, like Wi-Fi. You need to be on the right Wi-Fi. Do you see what I'm saying? And then when you connect, ding, ding, and they go back to AOL days, then there's a connection. I think that makes sense. You're dialing in, and when the heart, it's tapping into that well, that makes sense.
And this is why this conversation is important for us to be having this conversation, for people to start talking about this more and more, because this is what actually gives us access. When we can get our heart into the place that it needs to be, the door is now open. And it doesn't seem as if this is, it's not like catchy, like I don't feel like that this is like a popular kind of topic, but I'm going to go out on a limb and say this is the most important thing.
I actually think so, because I think over time, Tilu's gotten me over into her court. Not that I thought it was silly to begin with, but it was something that just wasn't on my radar, maybe because I didn't have the language for it. But as soon as she started describing it, I was like, well, I know someone like that. I know, starting now to recognize a lot of times and seeing it on social media, when you're seeing all these fights in the comment section, everyone is just so hard. It's just a hardness, especially with Black women. We are so hard, and this is why now there's a stereotype about us. We're Teflon. You're so strong. How many times people told you you're strong? People look at me and say, "Oh, you're just so strong." Girl, when? Why? How? What do you mean? You're just so strong. Okay, And I think obviously it's because we're might have battle tested on certain things. So we do come across a certain way, but that doesn't mean that I don't just have, a little soft heart in there, that I don't cry, that I'm not, concerned, that I'm not, so I think, with that and the stereotype of being a black woman, strong black woman, you are strong, the same things that we've said to ourselves to big ourselves up and to edify ourselves, they're being used against us.
And you know what's so funny about that? You a strong black woman. Let me tell you, we've had so many conversations about how it's not just people saying that outside, out there. I mean, even in our own family, like in our own family, we're like, I think my brother thinks that I'm just a strong black woman. So I can handle.
You can handle anything.
You can handle anything.
They know lights.
Yes.
Girl, you got this.
He was like, because I got to the house once and he knew I was coming. He knew I was coming that weekend. And, and I fell asleep. And then he came in the house late at night and he's like, oh, hey, you're here. I'm like, yeah, you knew I was coming. And he was like, yes, I guess you realize that there's no water. And I was just like, yeah, I noticed. And he was like, yeah, so I'm just going to leave my keys to the gym on the table because that's usually what I do. I just go to the gym and just, take my shower there and this, that, and the third. And I was like, okay. All right, you have a good night. I was like, I can't. Just go back upstairs.
I mean, when my sister told me this story, I said, I know you lying. Because ain't no way. This was a 7-hour journey. Actually, more than that.
No, it was a 12-hour.
You knew.
I drove the whole day.
You should have told me it wasn't no water up in this house so I can prepare myself. I am a woman. I keep on saying, what if it was that time? You need to know. Let me know. I can't flush the toilet? Sir.
And you know how maybe you're getting off the road and you're like, oh, I'm just 45 minutes away. I'm not going to stop using the toilet.
Hold it.
I'm going to hold it.
No. Don't hold it. Stop, girl. Stop. But we laugh about this thing because I think what it is knowing that, again, because we're black women, we should be able to absorb this. We should be able to handle this.
Because he knows. He's like, oh, I know. My sisters are Teflon.
They got this.
We've been through this. He's like, I'm just going to leave my keys on the table.
But had it been someone else who doesn't look like us, you would be over there, breaking your back to make sure there's water in the house. Make that make sense. This is not okay. But at the end of the day, this is the word on the street, y'all. Y'all strong.
And let me tell you something.
Y'all can handle it all.
I went to the gym for about 2 weeks until I actually had some money to get the water turned on. I did. And I am a menstruating woman. So yeah. Strong black woman.
So anyways, you done taking us off course with that whole water story. What in the world?
Can't use the toilet in the house.
I wasn't prepared for that.
I was like, gotta use the toilet before you get home. And don't drink no water.
Don't drink no water past 5. My word.
Yeah.
But again, I think that our reputation precedes us. So the assumption is that we're strong. We can handle it all. Mm-hmm. And I just think we've gone so off. I can't remember what we were talking about. Initially we were talking about softness and what does it look like to be a soft. Wait, what?
The importance of a soft heart.
A soft heart, right?
Yeah.
Right. And I think you wanted to share a story about why a soft heart was important to you, about cultivating a soft heart for you was important.
Yeah, so it's something that, been talking about, thinking about, meditating for a couple of years now. And so there's this scenario that I was having a conversation with a cousin of mine, and he was really upset about the fact that I am cultivating a relationship with my dad. And only because there are issues that my dad, there are things that happen that are difficult to forgive. Mm-hmm. And so for my cousin, he felt that I should be holding my dad accountable. He was asking me, what do I get out of this relationship? Why is it so important to me? When I'm talking to my dad, do I bring up these things? Am I standing up for my mom? That kind of stuff. And, then it becomes a little bit murky because, I don't want to get into the space of my dad and my mother. I want to work on my relationship as dad and daughter. And yeah, so we, I listened to him, and I completely understand, the feelings of my cousin. But what was difficult for me to articulate in that particular conversation was that for me, the reason why I was cultivating this relationship with my dad is I felt like it was helping me to keep my heart soft. I was coming into this awareness that the condition of the heart is of utmost importance to the Most High. And as I was coming into that awareness, I was feeling like, even if this is painful, even if this is triggering me in different kinds of ways, that prick in my heart is important, because that prick means that my heart is alive. Like, I want, when something pokes me, for me to go, ouch. If something pokes me and I don't go, ouch, well, we've got a problem here. Because if something hurts the heart, it should go, ouch. And I don't want to put myself in a situation where I'm so insulated that I'm insulating myself away from pain. That's not a vibrant heart. That's not a healthy heart. That's not good soil. And so for me, I'm like, yes, there are certain elements that are painful. Sure. I've come to the belief and the conclusion that there are certain things about my dad that are not going to change. He's not going to say certain things. He's not going to be that, my dad is who he is. It is what it is. But I need to continue to be available, work on this relationship as I can, continue to pray for the full restoration of our relationship, and putting myself in that space where there's vulnerability and there's a chance of further hurt. I mean, my dad says things. He be wilding sometimes.
Well, it's interesting. I'm taking you off your train of thought, just to add that I think that when she shared that with me, I thought, oh, that was really good, because, what I got from that is that you are purposely putting yourself in a situation, almost like it's a training exercise. Do you know what I'm saying? Where you're toning your heart,
putting in reps.
Putting in those reps, to make sure that your heart is still soft. And you said it in a different way, but when you said it, I thought it was really poignant to me, because I was like, oh, okay. Because so she's talking, I don't really talk. Not that I'm anti-talk, but I'm more of I'll send him a text now and then, Happy Father's Day, whatever. But I'm not actually physically getting on the phone to have conversation, for several of the reasons that she's mentioned. So when she explained that to me, I was like, oh wow, that's really profound. Putting yourself in a place so you can now cultivate the whole. You said it so much more poetic that when we talked about it before. But again, nonetheless, it was still really profound. The whole idea of trying to make sure that your heart is still soft and pliable, and in a place where it's not hard, and especially since it should be hard. With all the things that he's done and has not done, that should be your response, is hardness.
And this is the thing. It's like I'm trying to think as a strategist, like, okay, what does Satan want from me? He wants me to hate my dad. He wants me to abstain from talking to my dad. He wants me to, be pissed for all the reasons that, things are valid.
Yeah, very, very much so. But now what you're doing is you're like, no, actually you're flipping the script.
Whatever Satan wants me to do, I'm going to do the opposite. I'm going to do the opposite. Because there's a reason why he wants me to harden my heart. Not to mention, the Bible does say that, honor thy father and thy mother. So that it might be well with you. Yeah. And so for me, getting to the point where I don't have, in as much as my dad has done certain things, I don't want to have a hard heart towards him. And I'm not chasing, apologies or anything I don't think those are coming. And so getting to the point where I can be
so the relationship isn't because, I'm trying to set him up so he can, or not set him up like that, but set up an apology so he can. No, you're just actually in a relationship just for relationship's sake.
Just for relationship.
You're not seeking anything.
And I'm not trying to change it. Because my dad, he ain't changing. Because there's a time I asked, hey, something happened, and you didn't apologize. He's like, you didn't apologize to me either.
Clap back. He had a clap back ready.
Yeah.
Before
So basically I've just gotten to the point where I'm like looking to him for what he can offer. He can offer humor. He loves me, like he can offer humor. We have really great energy when we talk. And there's certain things that he can't offer.
Right.
And so I am not going to allow seeds of poison to take over my heart. I'm just going to be open to whatever is presented, cultivate the way I can cultivate, and keep my heart tender.
Yeah, this is almost interesting. So instead of like when the tortoise, you call it tortoise, or the turtle. Or the turtle. Well, they're two different animals, either the turtle or the tortoise. I don't know. Is that how tortoise? Puts the shell on when danger comes. So now you're just like, actually, I'm good. I'm just gonna take some steps, and I'm gonna be courageous, and I'm not gonna be discouraged because I know the Most High is with me. And you're walking through that without your armor, without your Teflon. You're walking through this thing because you know that ultimately that God's got you. And I think that's where it is.
Yeah.
Yeah. All right. Well, thank you. We'll be back with another episode.
Bye.